Beautiful shot of downtown Houston on a Friday night in the forefront, Minute Maid Park, where tonight the Astros kick off a 9-game, 10-day homestand, the final homestand of the 2018 season. The Astros start tonight's play 3.5 games ahead of the Oakland A's, kicking off a 3-game series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Plummer, it is the final homestand of the season and a very important game here for both teams.
It is. It's kind of disappointing that it is coming to an end here at Minute Maid Park, but a big series for both these ball clubs. Arizona's trying to get back in it. Astros just trying to continue what they've got going.
Our power player is presented by TXU, and Alex Bregman has been very good so far this season, and also since August 21st, he's been on a roll.
No, he's been on a roll. 21 games. You know what number I like about this is that the Astros are 17-4 with Alex Bregman putting up these kinds of numbers. That batting average close to 400. What's even more incredible is he's taking the walks every once in a while too, getting that on-base percentage even closer to 500. So it's pretty incredible what he's able to go out there and do, and obviously that week he had in Detroit, putting up massive numbers that only 18 guys have ever done in the major leagues.
Past few weeks, we've seen Alex Bregman tear it up, and all of a sudden he's had some huge numbers, but we've also seen these two teams going in different directions.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. With Paul Goldschmidt coming on very strong and entering himself into the MVP race, the Diamondbacks are going the other way, whereas the Astros are trending upward. We know we have very good starting pitching, but the bullpens is how they close those games out. That bullpen is beat up for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
So we'll see what happens tonight. A couple of lefties on the mound. Robbie Ray against Dallas Keuchel. We'll hear from Tony Kemp when we come back, as Julian Morales will interview number 18 right after this.
Astros playing really good baseball, 10-1 in the month of September, coming off a great road trip. Tony Kemp with me now, who played great on that road trip as well. A couple of huge hits in Boston and Detroit as well. How would you describe the way your team has turned it up a bit here in September? How have y'all done it?
Yeah, I remember doing an interview at the end of August, and we kind of didn't really finish how we wanted to, but I remember just saying, September is a new month, and I think it was important, just a fresh start for the team, and you can tell the way we've been playing, the way we've been carrying ourselves, that we're just trying to win at all costs.
We're having a lot of fun watching you guys have a lot of fun. The only thing out of your control is what the Oakland A's are doing right behind you guys. But how would you describe what's going on in the clubhouse, how you guys are feeling at this point of the season?
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty excited. I think it's one of those things different. Last year we clinched pretty early, and I think it's good for this team that it's actually pretty close, just so we can not get complacent. Everybody's still on their toes, and everyone's working just as hard as it is if it was April 1st. So I think it's important that we keep that attitude and just keep trucking along.
Keep it going tonight and the rest of the weekend and the rest of the homestand. Tony, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, that's Tony Kemp. Stay right there. Boys in the Booth will have more as we bring you first pitch from Minute Maid Park. Dallas Keuchel going for the Houston Astros tonight.
Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Canelo versus Triple G tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Central Time, live on pay-per-view. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. Jose Altuve signing autographs on a big and bright Friday night. Good crowd gathered for the opener of this 3-game series, and also the kickoff to a 9-game homestand. The Astros come in 92-54, 3.5 games ahead of the Oakland A's. In the American League West, the A's are currently playing right now against Tampa Bay, and they lead 1-0 in the 4th inning. Our Best in Texas Power Pitcher is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Tonight's starter, Dallas Keuchel.
Dallas has been good at home in his last 6 starts. You see the numbers on the bottom, 3-1 with a 1.95 ERA. Getting back to those ways that we were accustomed to seeing Dallas Keuchel here at Minute Maid Park. It's been a great combination of that tailing fastball, the good changeup, and again, this season creating a lot of soft contact, only trailing Chris Sale by a couple of percentage points. But a good night for Dallas Keuchel to come out here and start off this last homestand of the season.
Dallas will get a couple of starts in this homestand, including the one tonight against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He has had good numbers against the D-backs in his career, as his last 5 have all been quality starts.
And to go back to the last 13, 10 quality starts out of those 13. 2.81 ERA in those 13 starts, doing a good job keeping that opponent batting average at 259. Pitching to that soft contact, giving those guys behind him a lot of ground balls.
So Dallas will face this lineup for Torey Lovullo and the Arizona Diamondbacks, who just lost 3 out of 4 in Colorado and start the night 4.5 back in the NL West. A.J. Pollock is in center field leading off. Eduardo Escobar in third, batting second. Paul Goldschmidt from right here in Houston. He'll hit third and play first base. David Peralta is in left field. Christian Walker getting a chance to DH tonight. Steven Souza Jr. is in right field. Nick Ahmed is the shortstop. Ketel Marte is at second, and Jeff Mathis bats ninth and does the catching. D-backs wearing their darker gray pants and also the dark tops tonight are the Astros at home to kick off this series. They faced each other earlier this year in Arizona, with the Diamondbacks winning 2 out of 3. As we showed you a moment ago, the two teams have been heading in opposite directions for the last 3 weeks. And we are underway with a fastball delivered for a strike from Dallas Keuchel. Friday nights, they wear the Los D-backs tops. You see A.J. Pollock digging in with a .264 batting average. A little chopper. That's part of the issue for Dallas, at least it was in the first half. His soft contact didn't always result in outs. He has been pitching in some bad luck earlier in the season, and then it seems to have righted itself in the second half.
Yeah, it was tough for him. He's always said that he's felt good throughout the course of the season. Just some of the numbers didn't back that theory up until recently, the last couple of months.
Dallas pitching with a winning record for just the second time this year. Finally got above the 500 mark in that start against Minnesota in his last start here at Minute Maid Park. 11-10. A long way to go from 3-8 where he was in the middle of June. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He gets Pollock swinging to start this game. Defensively behind Dallas tonight in the outfield, it'll be George Springer in center, flanked by Marwin Gonzalez and Josh Reddick. Left side of the infield is Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa. Jose Altuve back in there after the day off against the Tigers on Wednesday. Yuli Gurriel also on the right side, and Martin Maldonado, the machete, behind the plate. Should also mention Dallas when talking about the defense. 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, who last year didn't have enough innings pitched to qualify, so he wasn't even on the list of choices when they handed out the ballots. But this year he should be a top contender again. Up and away, it's 1-1. Dallas is tied for second in assists amongst AL pitchers, 4th in total chances, and he has done so error-free in 2018. Hasn't faced these D-backs since the 2016 season. Escobar takes one down and in is 3-1. .31st start of the year for Dallas. That's the second most in his career. Second only to his Cy Young season. Slowly hit towards third. That is a foul ball. Bregman made the play just in case, but that is ruled foul.
Took him a little while to make that call, but Alex, being the professional that he is, finishing off the play on a Mattress Firm Supermo, you get an idea of some of the ground balls that Dallas Keuchel is going to create. Good break by Alex. That last hop right on the chalk, but ending up foul. But another good play by Alex, and that's one thing you got to do, much like you hear in football and basketball. Play till you hear the whistle.
Alex completing the play on a guy who had led most of the season in doubles, Eduardo Escobar. But then Alex has not only passed him, but he's kind of taken a sizable lead. He's now up 5 on Escobar, who's second in the major leagues with 45. During that Cy Young season, Dallas made 33 starts. Should end up with 33 again this year. Astros with 16 games remaining. towards the crowd and into the crowd. It's a full count on Escobar. Astros with a 9-game homestand and a 7-game road trip, and that will be it for the 2018 regular season. Mentioned the Astros lead in the American League West. They also have a magic number of 6 to qualify for the postseason. And low for ball 4. Good battle between Escobar and Dallas, won by Eduardo, and he's a 1-out base runner.
Pitch usage in the last 6 starts here at home for Dallas Keuchel. Fastball, changeup are the primary go-to pitches for him. He also is throwing a very good curveball, and those hard hit percentages next to it. The fastball with that 2-seam run away from right-handed hitter gets off the end of the bat, and the changeup creates a lot of rollovers. Hardest one that hitters are hitting with that curveball.
Goldschmidt sends one deep to left field. Marwin on the move, and he reaches out and can't quite make the play. The ball lodges up on the fence. That'll be a ground rule double. That ball's still sitting up there about halfway up on that bullpen fence. So Goldschmidt doubles into left center. It'll be second and third.
Talked about that curveball getting hit hard. And the lucky break for the Astros having that baseball lodge in between the fence and padding. But that curveball coming back into the right-handed swing of Paul Goldschmidt, who's been raking lately. Squares it up. Big bounce. Marwin Gonzalez on the hunt, but can't find it.
Torey Lovullo out to talk with the crew chief, Paul Nart, but nothing you could do if you're the Astros. I think Torey would like to see them have the option of placing runners. But first of all, the runner Escobar had to hold up a little bit because Marwin didn't come far from catching that ball.
Yeah, he almost caught that ball, so he did have to hold his ground.
What do you do with the baseball now?
I don't know. I'm not good at climbing fences, so I'm not getting it.
We need the guys that were able to unveil the World Championship flag earlier this year with their equipment to come get that down.
We're just going to leave that thing in there, I guess.
Guess so.
No.
If the ball dislodges on a drive to the fence, then just pick up one of the two and get it back in quickly.
Yeah, play the nearest.
Here's David Peralta. Astros infield looking into the dugout to see how they're going to play this one, and it looks like they're going to be halfway. Peralta takes a pitch down and in. So an early jam for Dallas here. A walk and a double. The Woodland High School's product, Paul Goldschmidt, has a whole different feel right now at the home plate than the last time we saw him back in May. Two and 0.
Last pitch was that curveball, stayed up and in, but on our Andy Anderson strike zone, catches a portion of the plate. Not coming back enough for Scott Berry to get the call.
There's a strike. It's 2-1.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. Even with the infield playing mostly in, they're still in that little bit of a shift situation. See Carlos cheating a little more towards the middle. Helps keep that runner at second base and also cover that ground, but not enough on this base hit.
Up the middle, 1 run scores. Goldschmidt being waved around. He'll score. 2 RBI base hit by David Peralta, and the Diamondbacks out in front early, 2-0.
It's a good pitch to hit with runners on base. Catching the fat part of the plate. Peralta, knowing the infield's in, doesn't have to do too much with it. Firm ground ball gets through for 2 RBIs.
Peralta driving in, runs number 79 and 80 on the year. Now here's Christian Walker. Walker had a big season at AAA. He was recalled at the end of August after 12 at bats last year. He's 7 for 35 this year with a couple of home runs. Dallas gets a strike. It's 1-1.
Early on in the season, the struggles for Dallas Keuchel were in that first inning.
This ball down the left field line and into the crowd. It seems like he righted that ship in the first inning issues for a while, but now it crops up again here.
And it's just location issues right now. Luckily took enough off that changeup right there to get Walker out in front and have him hook it foul.
Swing and a miss. Walker strikes out for out number 2. Both outs in this inning have been strikeouts.
There's a well-located slider down and into the right-handed hitter, Chris Walker. Looks like he's on top of the plate a little bit too, and Keuchel using that to his advantage. But one thing we've seen throughout the course of the season, whenever Dallas has gotten into trouble and given up a couple of runs, we haven't seen him really show any agony on the mound. He's always kept his poise and been able to pitch through some of these situations and hopefully give his team enough time to come back and pick him up, score some runs for him.
Facing Steven Souza Jr. here with a runner on first and 2 outs. Dallas last pitched on Sunday in that Sunday night game against the Boston Red Sox. Went 6 innings, allowed 5 runs on 9 hits. And he is pitching again tonight on normal rest. Charlie Morton getting the extra couple of days in between. Charlie pitched Saturday, and again he'll pitch on a Saturday tomorrow. Souza Jr. stays alive. It's 1-2. .232 on the year for Souza Jr. Road starts though, he's hitting .301. Just missed. Looked like Scott Berry was ready to ring him up.
It was a tempting spot for both the hitter and the umpire.
Tampa Bay got a run back in the 4th. They are tied with Oakland after 4 innings. Souza fouls one back. Stays 2-2.
You know, going back to that previous pitch that he took the fastball down and in that Dallas Keuchel almost walked off the mound on. There'll be times where you get the umpire will say, hey, that's a borderline pitch, and he'll tell the hitter, say, hey, don't take that pitch again. If I see the pitch in the same spot, I may ring you up on that. But it was a good pitching choice by Dallas going to the slider down and in the next pitch, because it looks like it's going to be in a similar spot and then breaking off the plate.
See, pitch 4 was very close. That was the one that was not called a strike. Pitch 5 in basically the same spot, and now pitch 6 misses off the plate. So Dallas about to make his 28th pitch of this at bat, or of this inning, and his 7th of this at bat. And that is his 2nd walk issued in the 1st inning. A couple of hits and a couple of walks will draw a visit from Martin Maldonado with his veteran left-hander on the mound in this 1st inning. Dallas is a guy that normally averages about 15 pitches per inning, and about double that here to start this game. Now face Nick Ahmed. Ahmed with a career high in home runs and RBIs, as you see, also in doubles with 30. 2 for 14 in that series in Colorado. Diamondbacks scored 15 runs in that 4-game series against the Rockies, but the Rockies scored 31 runs in the 4-game series. It took 3 out of 4. In the air to right field, sending Reddick back, still going back, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Josh puts it away for the final out. 2-run score on a couple of hits and a couple of walks. And here's how A.J. Hinch has them lined up tonight. George Springer and Jose Altuve both hit .304 on that road trip. Alex Bregman, a lot of good round numbers right now for him. Yuli Gurriel, Carlos Correa, and Tyler White DHs. Marwin Gonzalez, Martin Maldonado, and Josh Reddick.
Robbie Ray, left-hander for the Diamondbacks, making his 21st start on the season. 103 in a 3rd innings pitch, 56 walks in that time. He does have quite a few strikeouts mixed in there, but interesting strikeout to walk ratio. He has been very good on the road in comparison to home. A 2.90 ERA on the road.
He is on a run right now on the road of consecutive starts allowing 3 runs or fewer. All the way back to last year. That's 11 in a row for him as he faces George Springer here. A 26-year-old lefty turned 27 on the first day of October. Two and one to George. Astros just one lefty in the lineup tonight against Robbie Ray, and that's not unusual. Ray has been very good all year facing left-hand hitters. In fact, no one's been better in batting average against lefties than Robbie Ray. George takes a strike. It's 2-2. George starts off this game with a line drive single into left field. Good start for the Astros, trying to answer the 2 runs for the Diamondbacks.
No player does more is presented by HEB. Jose Altuve against Robbie Ray, 6 for 10. Yep, that's a 600 batting average, and he's got some damage mixed in there too. 3 doubles, a triple. Good time for him to be hitting, because if he does find that extra base hit, there's a good chance George comes around to score. But Jose Altuve comfortable against Robbie Ray.
Started to see signs with Altuve getting the day off Wednesday. Started to see signs on Tuesday that Altuve was starting to feel more like the 2017 version. Altuve led off that game, hit a home run, also lined out to center. singled, lined out to short a couple of times. He hit the ball hard 5 times that day. And now he faces a guy who has not retired him the last 5 times they've matched up. Single, 2 doubles, a triple, and a walk in his last 5 plate appearances. It's over for a strike. It's 1-1. Robbie Ray going to that breaking ball more now in his career than ever before. This is the lowest percentage of fastballs he's ever thrown. Just 54.5%. He had a couple years at 70 where he was 71, 72% in 15 and 16, but that has dwindled down as he's throwing the slider more than ever, and also that curveball comes in a lot too.
That's the only pitch Jose's seen so far.
There's a fastball in.
96.
You must know the stats against Altuve.
Wow. It's aggressive. Astros as a team are pretty good against left-handed pitchers. 60 home runs they've hit against them. Trying to stand him up on that. I would imagine if this pitch is anywhere in the strike zone that Jose Altuve is going to give it a healthy hack.
Way outside. Another at 96. And Altuve on base for the 6th consecutive time facing Robbie Ray as he draws a walk. Astros have 2 on with nobody out.
Interesting to have Alex up there with runners on base again. An opportunity to add to that RBI total. But how about age 24 years or younger to have 30-plus home runs, 50-plus doubles, 100-plus RBI, 100-plus runs, and you had 10 steals today. Only 3 guys have done it.
Alex exactly on those numbers as we start tonight's play. Last homestand towards the end, we heard chants of MVP when Bregman was batting for the first time. We'll see if those resurface in this homestand. He has certainly thrust himself into this conversation after not being talked about really for the first few months, because his numbers since the end of July have been off the charts. So are those numbers.
Yeah, he's literally done everything right this season. And being rewarded for it too with the numbers.
You mentioned Robbie Ray can struggle with command. Bregman rarely leaves the zone.
Borderline for me. I'm not too sure you can hang there all that long before making that turn towards second, but
looked unusual.
In the dugout, we would always scream out, "Wrong way." Especially when you get a guy like Alex up there.
2-0. Ray walked 4 in his last start against the Braves in 6 innings of work. 3rd time in his last 5 starts he's walked 4 or more. Take it back further, it's been 5 out of 8. So issue or command has been an issue. And he's fallen behind Bregman 3-0. We rarely see Alex swing at a 3-0 pitch. We'll see if he will in this scenario. Alex is so confident that he can do equal damage on a 3-1 and 3-2 pitch.
It's almost as if he's daring the pitcher to throw him 2 strikes in a row.
Ball 4. Back-to-back walks. That's a 4-pitch walk after a 5-pitch walk to Altuve. And the bases are filled with Astros with nobody out. quick visit from the pitching coach, Mike Butcher, just 3 batters in to talk to his left-hander.
Yeah, there's all kinds of comments he can be making right here. Some good, some not so good.
Both teams wearing the Los in front of their team name, with this being Hispanic Heritage Weekend. Los Astros versus Los D-backs. And that'll bring up La Piña. Yuli on the season with the bases loaded, 4 for 10, a double and a home run. Out of 14 pitches from Robbie Ray have been outside of the strike zone tonight. Make it 11 out of 15. So aggressive is Yuli Gurriel. We'll see how aggressive he gets here with a pitcher who's struggling with his command. Ground ball, that's going to find a hole into left field. Springer will score, and the Astros score their first run of the night. It's now a 2-1 game as Yuli drives in his 71st on the season.
Normally you hit the panic button when Yuli hits a ground ball and runners are on base, but this time he placed it perfectly in between the third baseman and the shortstop to get that base hit. Out of the reach of Escobar and Ahmed. And Yuli improving those numbers when the bases are loaded and in risk situations.
Yuli now 5 for 11 with the bases loaded, and Carlos Correa bats. He's 4 for 9 with the bases full. First pitch swinging at 96 and fouls one back. Carlos playing in his 30th game since coming back off the DL.
Guy who's been struggling with confidence at the plate. This could be a big swing for Carlos Correa if he's able to drive in a couple.
On the outside edge, it's 0-2.
Robbie Ray still missing his spots with his pitches. That was a slider that you could see the catcher Mathis setting up inside. It stayed away. He probably lucked out, because if that came right back to Carlos, he might have turned on it.
Didn't have a lot of break to it.
No.
Down low, 1-2. Couple of singles, couple of walks in this inning. Altuve on third, Bregman on second, Yuli on first. Astros answering right back after the Diamondbacks scored 2 in the top half of the inning. On the ground towards short. They get one at second, and the return in time for a double play. A run will score to tie the game. Correa hits into a double play. We're tied at 2.
Ball got on Ahmed pretty quick, but he showed good hands. Wasn't a very aggressive stretch by Goldschmidt in a doubles play situation, but enough to get the out.
Here's Tyler White batting. Bregman on third with 2 outs now. And pitch down low and a check swing. Carlos has definitely been struggling lately, but the difference between ball off his bat and the ball off Yuli's bat, less than 4 miles an hour difference in exit velocity. Yuli's the hero because the ball finds the hole between third and short. Carlos instead hits one right at the shortstop and turn 2-1. White fouls one back. It's 1-2.
That's the difference sometimes between 1 and 2 steps, allowing that defensive player to get there. But Yuli did get the barrel out in front a little bit more to yank it through that hole.
Into right field. Souza Jr. is there. And Ray able to limit the damage after a run scored. The bases were loaded, but we're all tied at 2 after 1.
Home screen icons and features such as the MLB.tv Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. You're looking at Karen Warren there with Reed Ryan. She was inducted into the Astros Wall of Honor today. That's for current and former photojournalists or broadcasters who have contributed a lot to Houston baseball. Karen in tears there. You may not recognize Karen because she's always behind the camera. She takes fantastic photos for the Houston Chronicle, and she has for many, many years. I got a chance to interview her today. We're going to have a piece coming up on Astros Bases Loaded, but she said one of her favorite memories, other than covering some World Series teams, including 2005, and then, of course, them winning last year, she followed along, but was in the Astrodome. She took Tim Bogar and a couple of other players way up to the top, and they did a shoot up there. The guys wanted to just see what it was like up on top of the dome. I mean, they were way up there, guys. I don't know if you've seen those pictures, and we're going to collect some of those that we can have for that piece. But she went up there with them, and she thought, I'm never going to get to shoot another Astros game again. I've just taken these guys to the most dangerous place ever. But she is still here. That was 20 years ago or so. Still here taking great photos. She said some of her favorite players to take pictures of her: Carlos Correa, Altuve, the guys with all the personality and the athleticism. But also Jose Lima was a huge favorite of hers. But you've seen her pictures. I can count on that. She's great on social media as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely, Julia. She is one of the treasures here. And the Astros happy to have her working in this area because Bregman just made a fine play. She can take a picture of that. It's a fine defensive play by Bregman in foul territory to get Jeff Mathis for out number 2.
Another good play, moving to his right. Alex, it's almost routine. It's academic now for him.
Now that Machado's playing short all year long, we can call this play Bregman, a Bregman. Yeah. It's a standard play now.
He doesn't even have, there's certain things that when I say become routine or academic, it means they don't have to think about it. And that's definitely a play that Alex doesn't have to think about. He's just got to see the ball in the glove, and the rest is done.
Line drive off of Dallas, and that is going to be a base hit. Let's hope Dallas is okay. Seems to be fine.
It's a good job. Good thing they did the body issue photo shoot before they had this bruise on that arm, but it hits the left shoulder. That's not good. The shoulder blade and the left shoulder, basically the shoulder and the shoulder blade of any pitcher is a pretty sensitive area. Those guys are always getting work on that back part of the shoulder, but Dallas Keuchel in pretty good shape, able to shake that one off, hopefully.
I think they can airbrush bruises out on Sports Illustrated.
True.
But yeah, that's not the area you want to see. You don't want to see a pitcher get hit anywhere, but certainly not near that throwing shoulder.
He really didn't make a true effort to really get out of the way. He just kind of embraced for impact.
Dallas is usually in really good fielding position too, but that was 98.
Yeah, ball came back in a hurry.
Exit velocity off the bat of A.J. Pollock. So he'll be a 2-out base runner. Dallas seems to be fine. Hey, getting back to Karen Warren, it was great to see how many other photographers were there paying their respects. And
when your peers show up in numbers like that to honor you, I think that says a lot about Karen. She's wonderful.
And you can see how much it meant to her before this game with that ceremony with Reed Ryan. Eduardo Escobar takes a pitch outside for a ball. Escobar drew a walk in the first inning. Dallas walked 2 in that inning. And also allowed a couple of hits. Both teams scoring 2 runs in the first. Look at all those people taking pictures.
It's quite the gallery.
Seriously. We don't see that many for all-star jerseys or.
No, she's a big deal.
Good for her. Well deserved. Somebody doesn't get much recognition because, as Julia said, she's always on the other side of the lens as Escobar pulls one foul. That's going to go into the upper deck. On this big and bright Friday night, some fans in that section were expecting a foul ball. Should be big crowds throughout this 9-game homestand. Arizona in for 3, Seattle in for 3, and then the Los Angeles Angels. Dallas trying for a bounce back inning after a high pitch count first inning. Threw 30 pitches in the first. On the ground towards Bregman. Alex has it on 2 hops. And Dallas with a 9-pitch inning after a 30-pitch first as he settles in a bit.
at SW. Which of the Astros late season additions this year has made the most underrated impact? Is it Ryan Presley out of that bullpen? How about the catcher Martin Maldonado, who's due up here, or Roberto Osuna, who's collecting saves? Collected a lot of them on that last road trip. Vote and we'll tell you which one wins later in the broadcast, TK.
All right, we have Martin batting second in this inning behind Marwin Gonzalez, who swings the first pitch and pops it way up in the air. Playable. The shortstop Ahmed calls off the third baseman Escobar and makes the play for out number 1. All three of those guys certainly have made a big impact. Martin Maldonado really probably with the toughest transition of the three, not only coming over to a new team but learning a whole new pitching staff on the fly. Four of his 9 home runs have come with the Astros, and hitting .278 with those 4 home runs in his last 20 games. Takes a called strike. Robbie Ray getting the start tonight. Maldonado right back in there. A couple of righties the rest of the way, Zach Godley and Zach Greinke. So I'm sure we'll see Brian McCann get one of those 2 starts. It's been pretty much Maldonado and McCann. Matt Stassi has found a few innings here and there, but not had a chance to start since Brian McCann's been back off the DL. Team takes a high strike. It's 0-2. And he gets Martin Maldonado on 3 pitches. So a pop up on the first pitch to Gonzalez, and now a 3-pitch strikeout.
Every Tuesday night home game is Dollar Dog Night, presented by Nolan Ryan Beef. Our last Dollar Dog Night of the season is this Tuesday's game against the Mariners. To get tickets, visit astros.com/dollardogs or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Here's last. Yeah, that's it. Man. Mariners in town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, it's crazy to think about. There's no more after this weekend. Just 1 week to go at home and then 1 week to go on the road. Mariners still hanging on by a thread. They are in Anaheim taking on the Angels over the weekend. Reddick pops one up third base side. And after Dallas had a 9-pitch top half of the inning, Robbie Ray comes back with a 6-pitch bottom half.
Record is 40-25, and that ERA at 2.98. Opponent batting average at 233, 61.7. Yeah, that's right, 61.7 ground ball percentage. That is a very good number, and the reason why he's been pretty good here at Minute Maid Park over the years.
It's a lot of starts, 88, to have a sub-3 ERA. That is continued success throughout Dallas Keuchel's career here at Minute Maid. He'll face Paul Goldschmidt, who was right in the middle of that 2-run rally in the first inning. Goldschmidt doubled on a ball that lodged up in the fence. We haven't noticed who got it, but they have since knocked the ball down and taken it out of play. Goldschmidt right on the edge of 300.
Goldie putting up good numbers. Here is his hot cold zone. You can see why in that first AB Dallas wanted to get that curveball a little more down and in. Down and in and middle away. It's been a tough spot for Goldschmidt. Good pitch down the zone to get the ground ball.
2 big hops to Carlos Correa as both starters have started to lock it in a little bit after a shaky start. Both starters giving up 2 in the first. Here's David Peralta. He singled in both runs. 2 RBI base hit through the middle. Peralta with a career high 27 home runs on the season. Takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Diamondbacks have had the lead in the National League West for the majority of the season. They have watched their deficit recently grow to 4.5. They led at one point by 6 games at the beginning of May, and even at the beginning of July led by 3.5. They have never trailed in the division by more than 4 games until that final loss in Colorado yesterday afternoon. So this is a critical series for them as they run a gauntlet right now. They have as tough a schedule as anybody going for a playoff spot. Peralta with a count of 2-2. And right now they are trailing Colorado by 4.5 with the Dodgers in the mix, 3 games ahead of Arizona. And then they're also trying to chase the Cardinals for the second wild card spot. They're 4 back in that race. Trying to hold up, but he goes around. Peralta, strikeout victim number 3.
As you enjoy a cold one, look forward to the Miller Lite Hold True moment later in tonight's game. That West is crazy.
The West is crazy. That's been the best race all year long.
It's going to go down the last 3-4 days, I feel like.
NL Central's not too bad, but that West has been hotly contested all year.
And some of their schedules, I mean, they go. Some of those West teams go in and play those National League Central teams.
Yep. After this series with the Astros, the Diamondbacks play the Cubs. They go home and play the Cubs, the Rockies, and the Dodgers. So their whole season's on the line in the next homestand. And they can't afford to split series or win even 2 out of 3. They need to sweep somewhere in that mix to try and make up some ground. They just lost 3 out of 4. Their big blow was when they lost the last 3 games against the Dodgers after winning the first game. They were up a game and a half, and then the Dodgers won the next 3. Matt Kemp was in the middle of 2 big come from behind victories against Archie Bradley, and really they've been looking for that late inning guy at the back end of their bullpen ever since. Ground ball towards the hole in short, backhanded by Correa. Strong arm. Dallas Keuchel, another efficient inning after a 9-pitch second. He has an 11-pitch third. 2018 postseason priority access. Visit Astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more info. Hopefully we'll see more of that coming up this postseason. Astros trying to lock in a playoff spot first and then go for that American League West title for back-to-back years as they face Robbie Ray here. George Springer, who led off the first, will also lead off the third. Saw that Robbie Ray fastball around 96 in that first inning. He delivers that first one here to Springer outside for a ball at 93. Astros coming off a 5-1 road trip. Very easily could have been a 6-0 trip. Controversial call that was not overturned in that Sunday night loss to the Red Sox.
I don't know what play you're talking about.
No, already turned the page.
Yeah. Wonder if Julia has.
There's a strike to George. It's 1-2. I don't think AJ has, based on Julia's interview with AJ before the game.
Rightfully so.
Oh, he dropped a "he was safe" during our covering all the bases.
That's awesome.
Today. Yeah. He can smile about it now. He wasn't doing that a few days ago.
No, he wasn't. Nor was the dugout when they saw the call after the review. Upstairs to George, it's 2-2. Astros winning 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox, taking all 3 from the Tigers, all of them one-run games against Detroit. Tigers played the Astros tough. The Astros able to prevail in all 3. Called third strike. Ray picks up his second strikeout, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to lock up Springer for the first out of the third.
The Astros' upcoming schedule is presented by AT&T Entertainment. A couple more against the Diamondbacks, and then Monday through Wednesday you're going to see the Seattle Mariners. Angels come in to finish off this homestand. The last homestand of the season before the Astros take off on that last road trip that starts in Toronto and finishes off in Baltimore.
Here's Jose Altuve, who walked and scored a run his first time up. Both the Astros and the A's wrap up the final week of the season on the road. Astros will go Toronto and Baltimore, 7 total games, 3 in Toronto, 4 in Baltimore. And the A's will play in Seattle and the Angels, and they'll play 3 games each with an off day on that final Thursday. Altuve down the line and right, pretty well hit, slicing towards the corner and just foul. Souza giving a look, and a nice play made there in the stands by that fan. Not a Biggio jersey, a Leggio jersey.
Allegedly a Leggio jersey. We'll have to confirm that. Barehanded. It's good to see Altuve driving a baseball the other way too.
You mentioned it seems like he's getting on his legs a little more.
Yeah, you know, that knee is a tough spot because it seems like when he slides he kind of re-aggravates the situation. But it's nice to see him show up at the beginning of games and all throughout some of the games. If he doesn't end up hitting that knee that awfully, he still moves pretty good, gets on the legs for the swing.
Here he grounds one to short, that Ahmed's able to make the play. So both starters now have locked in a little bit. That's 7 in a row retired by Robbie Ray. Dallas has retired 7 of the last 8. I'll bring up Alex Bregman. We could give you a different accolade every at bat for this entire homestand with this guy. I like the one about the 100 RBI, 100 runs scored in Astros history. Nobody has done it at a younger age than Alex Bregman.
Everybody else would say he's way ahead of schedule except Alex. He believes in himself and he's gotten it done.
Up and in. Previous mark was Richard Hidalgo in the 2000 season, the youngest Astro with 100 runs and 100 RBIs in the same season. Now Bregman becomes the youngest, and he still has 2 weeks to add to those totals plus this weekend. Looking forward to having Jeff Bagwell in the booth tomorrow. He's been a big fan of Bregman since opening day, and I'm sure he can't wait to talk about the season Alex has had. Although Robbie Ray, another 1, 2, 3 inning, has retired 8 in a row. Or visit ATTSportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account, and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet and their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. We head to the 4th inning, all tied at 2. Dallas Keuchel facing Steven Souza Jr. Keuchel walked Souza Jr. his first time up. Dallas needed 30 pitches to get through the 1st inning, and only 20 to get through the next 2. 1-1 the count. Souza's been bothered by a strained right pec for a lot of this season. Has limited his at-bats. Now it's 2-1. It'll be Souza, Ahmed, and Marte. 6, 7, and 8 in the Diamondbacks lineup. All ripped into the crowd. Look out.
Coming in hot.
We saw in that last road trip both Boston and Detroit, Fenway Park and Comerica Park, extending those nets all the way down the foul lines. I think you'll see that more and more prevalent as the years go by. It's getting to the point now too with the nets, and people have said if they sit behind there, you don't even notice it anymore. 2-2 pitch inside is 3-2.
I agree, but there will be complaints. I'll gladly save a set of teeth.
Fortunately, everybody
sit behind a net.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, everybody seems fine there, but that's the kind of foul ball that could do some damage. Carlos Correa on 2 big hops. Souza hustling down the line, but he's thrown out by a step and a half for the first out. I'll bring up Nick Ahmed. Ahmed flied out deep to right field his first time up. Mentioned Dallas has 5 consecutive quality starts against the Diamondbacks going back to the 2012 season. 4 of those 5 starts have been here at Minute Maid Park. The one road start during that stretch was October 2nd, the year the Astros would get in the postseason with a clinch over the weekend in Arizona on the final weekend, and Dallas pitching that 21-5 game.
The Texans played well that day.
Into left center field, and that's in the gap for a base hit. George cuts it off. Ahmed going for second, and he will slide in safely. Nick Ahmed, a one-out double.
Ahmed getting on those legs, get that pitch from Dallas and pull it into left center field gap. One Husky to another.
There you go.
UConn connection between Nick Ahmed and George Springer.
Here's Keuchel Marte. Takes a pitch for a ball. Marte, last 16 games, batting .311 coming in. Flied out to right his first time up. Didn't miss by much. 2-0.
No, he was getting that call earlier in the game too. And that's a portion of the plate that Dallas likes to pitch to, down. Catches a piece of it.
I think there's a good chance Dallas and Scott Berry will have a little conversation on the way back to the dugout.
Standard operating procedure.
At least once it seems Dallas will have a little conversation with the home plate umpire. Chop towards Correa, runner crossing over to third. Carlos makes the play to first. Marte's out number 2. Now face the number 9 hitter Jeff Mathis. Now, if you're the Diamondbacks, you're watching, if you're scoreboard watching, 3 or 4 different games with the National League being jumbled up. If you're the Astros, your main focus right now is on one game, and that's the Oakland A's game every night. A's are 1-1 in their game in the bottom of the 7th inning in Tampa Bay. Call strike on Mathis. It's 0-1. Mathis grounded out his first time up. On the edge, 2-2. Loses Mathis. That was the 3rd walk issued by Dallas, and now back to the top of the order for A.J. Pollock.
Yeah, you would feel that's a real unnecessary walk. 9th hole hitter Jeff Mathis, 210 on the season, no home runs. Make him hit his way on before you turn this lineup over.
Now you face a guy who batting .264 with 17 home runs. Now up to 265 as he hit a line drive off Dallas's back his last time up. That bounces in there, smothered by Maldonado. In the air to left field, Marwin has a beat on it and puts it away for the final out. Couple left on. We head to the bottom of the fourth, still tied at 2.
A boost of fan support in Boston. We go behind the scenes with AJ Hinch, and Justin Verlander makes an emotional return to Detroit. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the postgame show, only on AT&T Sportsnet. TK?
All right, Julia, on we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Fans showing off their replica World Series championship rings. And the Astros will have Yuli Gurriel due up first against Robbie Ray, and Robbie starts him off with a high strike. Robbie Ray allowed the first 4 runners to reach base, 2 hits, 2 walks, and since then he's retired the next 8. Yuli was the last of those 4 to reach with a ground ball single to left. And he pops one foul behind the Astros dugout down to the count 0-2. Yuli's been solid here his last 4 home games. 4 for 11, a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs during that stretch. Had those 2 home runs in the Minnesota series before the road trip. Yuli with that RBI up to 71 runs batted in on the year. He's 4 off the mark he set last year for his career best. Swing and a miss. Ray able to get him for his 3rd strikeout of the night, and that's now 9 in a row sent down.
A little bit better slider in the last couple of innings for Robbie Ray. And the velocity is a little bit down too. The first inning he was pumping 96 pretty consistently without control. Now he's hovering around that 92, 93 where he is averaging that fastball velocity and having more command and enabling himself to set up that slider.
It seemed like adrenaline worked against him a little bit early in this game. Now he breaks over the curveball for a strike on Carlos Correa. Correa was the key hitter early for Robbie Ray as he had the bases loaded, nobody out. The Astros had already scored a run. He was able to get Correa to hit into a double play. A run scored, but then Tyler White flied out for the final out of the inning, and the game stayed tied at 2. There's the 96 that we saw in the first inning, but it misses with that pitch.
But it's a good spot to do it. An 0-2 count. You got a guy struggling at the plate. Why not airmail one? See if he goes after it. If he doesn't, you know you've got a pretty good slider to work with.
No chase there. 2-2. Contact against either of these left-handers tonight. Both of them have 3 strikeouts, Ray and Dallas Keuchel. And nobody this evening has hit a ball 100 miles an hour or better in the exit velocity. The highest exit velocity was that Yuli Gurriel single between third and short. Hanging in there. 2-2.
Good job showing a quick bat and a 2-strike count, a fastball up and in.
Kind of a significant final 16 games for Carlos Correa. Love to see him get back to form before that postseason begins. And down and in. This has been a solid plate appearance for Correa. The count's full. He'll see another one. 9 pitches so far in this head-to-head battle. Now this will be the 9th coming up.
Seen Carlos under a lot of pitches in recent days. He's just a tick late.
Working the edges in this at bat against Correa, and Carlos keeps staying alive. Robbie Ray needed only 10 pitches in the third, only 6 pitches in the second. This will be his 10th pitch of this at bat against Correa. And he loses him. Carlos Correa. Quite a plate appearance, drawing a walk on 10 pitches.
It's time to play Name That Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Clues are Expo, Triple Crown, Perfection. You know who that Astro is. Make sure you tweet your answer to @ATT Sportsnet SW and stay tuned to this broadcast because we will reveal who that Astro is later.
Sometimes a long at bat like that or a walk drawn by Carlos Correa can help set it up for the next guy. As Tyler White takes one down and in. White has been as hot as anybody in this Astros lineup, including Alex Bregman. Since the All-Star break, Tyler with an OPS of 1,053. Had an RBI in all 6 games on that road trip. Had a .368 on the 6-game trip with a home run and 8 runs batted in. And Ray has missed 2-0. He's walked 3 after walking Correa to start this inning.
The Shark has lured him in. Now if he can get a pitch out over the plate to get extended on and drive. Get some action out here.
A little bit of a chum slick out there.
Yeah. Get you some. I think that was the pitch he was looking for, is just down out of the zone.
So he's looking slider 2-0.
Yeah, and I think the way that Tyler's going right now, and some of the pitches we've seen him hammer in the past have kind of said that he's been on the slider a little bit. But just in the recognition, he saw it coming down and in. He wanted to unload and get that thing into the Crawford box, but just got a little too quick.
That's the ultimate of discipline, when you see the pitch you're expecting and you want to swing so bad, but that's not a strike.
Yeah, you can't be Altuve and just say I'm going to swing at the first pitch and hit it out every time.
2-1 is in off the plate. Robbie Ray has thrown 4 outside the zone to Tyler White. So now, all right, let's go through the mindset. Now it's 3-1. What's he thinking here?
Well, that's what Robbie Ray is thinking about right now, is he saw that he was aggressive on the slider, might give the indication that he was sitting on it, but he also has 96 in the tank, but it's been tough to locate. I'm saying he goes back to that off-speed pitch, trying to keep Tyler White off balance because he caught him so far out in front.
I don't think this is an easy call for Mathis and Ray either, as they couldn't get together on what they wanted to throw.
A little bit of a hesitation in there.
Well, the scouting reports don't lie, and they know Tyler White's been as hot as anybody in this lineup. So you challenge a Shark here at 3-1. Back with a slider.
Might have gotten away with one too.
That could have been a pitch that he could drive.
Still a pretty disciplined swing by Tyler White. He knows he has to wait a little bit longer because he was so quick on the slider previously. Didn't really get the arms extended the way he wanted to, but that tells me that he was trying to stay up the middle with that pitch. It's trying to get, instead of trying to get too big. Still got another pitch left.
Down the right field line, but that slices into the ground on 1 bounce.
Man, that would have been a beauty.
Well, nobody in baseball, 150 plate appearances or more, nobody sees more pitches per at bat than Tyler White. 4.56 coming into the game. Adding to that total with a long at bat here.
Kickoff. See the signs from Jeff Mathis that thumb or the fist is put down, but then the thumb pops out. That usually indicates that they're going to pick over. Trying to see if they can get a read on Carlos Correa.
He did not run on the last 3-2 pitch.
Tyler's showing a pretty good idea at the plate, fouling off some tough pitches.
And he goes down swinging here. Couple strikeouts in the inning for Robbie Ray and 4 in the game.
That's what's interesting about Robbie Ray, is that slider kind of backs up a little bit, looks like a changeup. He doesn't throw a changeup according to the numbers that I've got, but that was just a little bit of a wrinkle at 84 miles an hour that dipped under the swing of Tyler.
No, you're right about the changeup. He threw it with the Tigers 26% of his pitches, and then each year he's been with the Diamondbacks, he's thrown it fewer and fewer. 9% in 15, 6% in 16, 1% last year, and not at all this year.
Disappeared.
But you're right, that has the actions like a changeup. There's a ball on the ground, fielded by Ahmed. He'll flip over to second to Ketel Marte, and Marwin Gonzalez bounces into an inning-ending fielder's choice. Quality, all at the lowest prices on every item, every day. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. Don't tug on Superman's cape. Orbit taking on Superman himself. Dean Cain thrown out first pitch before the game. Who wins this epic battle?
Come on.
Superman.
Always. Still got it.
Quite an effort by Orbit. Super Orbit.
Is there any other?
No. Always entertaining for the game, in the game. Dallas Keuchel heads to the fifth inning in a 2-2 ball game. Facing the 2-3-4 hitters for the Diamondbacks. Eduardo Escobar takes a strike. Escobar, switch hitter, coming in batting .253 overall. Is it better as a right-hand hitter, .265. This misses, it's 1-1. High fly ball on the left. Marwin will camp under it. One away.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. Some more numbers to encourage Alex Bregman getting into that MVP conversation. The win probability added. This is a great number. 2 Boston Red Sox on there. Alex Bregman is actually on top of this list with that 5.882 in the Woodlands product. Paul Goldschmidt, who digs in now, is right up there at just over 5.
That's a cool stat. It's one we'll show you the definition of here. It's basically each at bat, how much a player will add to or subtract from his team's win probability for that night or that afternoon after every at bat.
It is an interesting stat, and I'm glad somebody else calculates it, but I like what it means. You know, how much of an impact a guy can have on the ball game from at bat to at bat. And there's actually, they break it down into pluses and minuses, and that's how you get those guys who are above in that plus category at 5.882 like Alex Bregman, is because not only is he getting hits, getting a lot of extra base hits, but he gets them in a timely manner that really helps out his ball club.
So good with his OPS with runners in scoring position. And who would have thought we'd see Paul Goldschmidt at the top of any list last time we saw the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, it is incredible what he's done in the last, 3 months. Because when we went through Arizona and Garrett Cole was absolutely annihilating Diamondback hitters, Goldschmidt was one of them. He's not that guy anymore. He's back into that MVP type form.
Up the middle, there's the 3-time Gold Glover. Dallas flips it to first as Goldschmidt hits a sharp comebacker to Dallas for out number 2.
Dallas is doing a good job against Goldschmidt, staying down in the zone after that first AB.
Got behind Goldschmidt 3-0 and still able to retire him.
A little more time to react too. Gets himself back in a good fielding position after letting go of that pitch. Good reaction time. You see Jose Altuve in the background saying, "I got your back." It's one thing to be in position. You still got to be able to field. And Dallas, he's a pretty good athlete and has very good eye-hand coordination to be able to make those plays so quickly.
This one past Dallas into the outfield for a base hit. David Peralta singled into center for 2 runs his first time up, and now he singles into center with 2 outs in this inning.
Almost the identical spot that he got the 2 RBI single on.
So it's now 5 hits allowed by Dallas. And he'll face the designated hitter Christian Walker. Walker, 26-year-old DH. He's getting a chance at DH tonight. Diamondbacks don't get to use the DH very often. Originally with the Orioles. And he breaks his bat and he hits it on the line to Carlos Correa, who spears it in the air for the final out. Well, Dallas 1 hit, 1 man left on base. Their ticket and receive an exclusive Justin Verlander t-shirt for only $10. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/t-shirt. Martin Maldonado will lead off the bottom half of the 5th inning for the Astros. He struck out his first time up. Arizona Diamondbacks record for most consecutive road starts without allowing more than 3 runs is 13. Brandon Webb did it back in 2003. Miguel Batista had 12 in a row that same season. Robbie Ray a chance to go to 12 in a row tonight. Didn't look like he'd get there in that first inning when he allowed single, walk, single to start the game with the bases loaded and 1 run already in. Like that 3-run or fewer streak was in jeopardy, but he has settled in and not allowed a hit since, and only 1 base runner of the last 12 batters he's faced, and that's a 10-pitch walk to Carlos Correa. After a shaky start, he has been really solid for Arizona. Same thing with Dallas Keuchel. Dallas has given up a few more base runners, but after a struggle early, Dallas is not allowed to run in the last 4 innings. Maldonado pops one high in the air, shallow right. Marte out, Souza in. It's the right fielder who makes the play for out number 1.
Shiner spotlight falls on. Some impact performances this season. Josh Reddick had one back on April 3rd against the Orioles. 2 for 4, 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. We know that he loves hitting here at home. This was the big one. Launching it into the Astros bullpen. Javier Bracamonte with the big grab. Good to see Josh Reddick get back into the swing of things here at home and on the road with a little more of that power stroke. But he got off to an electric start this season back on April 3rd.
And the one split that's really in his favor this year has been hitting against lefties.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because that was the one area of concern when he first joined the Astros, coming off that season with the A's and the Dodgers. But 285 against lefties this year. Fouls this one back and he's down 0-2. Home road splits haven't been as favorable for Reddick. He has still hit better at home than road this year, but just 257 at home coming in to tonight's game. And he's down on strikes here. Ray picks up strikeout number 5. It's 3 of the last 5 outs for Robbie Ray via strikeouts. I'll bring up George Springer. George got that first inning rally going with a single into left field, and he's also struck out. Ray can strike out some batters. He is second to Max Scherzer in strikeouts per 9 amongst National League starters.
He's definitely been in a groove. Last couple innings have been very efficient. But battled a little bit against Carlos Correa, but moved on to get Tyler and Marwin.
Did you ever have more uniforms as a player than you did when you played with the Diamondbacks?
No.
By far, right?
By far.
You guys used to have to take like 3 or 4 on every road trip?
Yeah, fortunately I missed the charcoal gray uniform days, but yeah, I didn't have a chance to go from teal to burgundy to dark gray to black to, there's so many variations.
Yeah, the all gray, all dark grays.
Wow, good pitch.
Not the best look.
Yeah, then didn't we see him at home with, and I think on the road too, they have the teal color kind of mixed in there? So when they ask what's your primary color to the Arizona Diamondbacks, they just reply yes.
Show them a color spectrum wheel.
Color wheel.
Yeah. 3-1. See if George can lock in on a pitch here. George sitting on 20 home runs for the season. Good crowd here. Hasn't had a lot to cheer about since the first inning. Not the 3-1 swing George was thinking about. 3-2.
Again, it's that slider for Robbie Ray. He will throw it in any count. It's been very effective for him since that second inning. It's kind of been fastballs away, sliders down.
Popped high in the air, foul ball. Mathis gives it a look. It'll be out of play. Veteran catcher Jeff Mathis.
Spin mixer right down the middle at 84 miles an hour. Watch that barrel get just a hair out in front of home plate.
George is like, is there any way he could do that again? Please.
Put it right back out there on that tee and see what he can do this time. But if he throws the good one, it might be effective.
Trying to hold up, and he goes around. Frustrating at bat for Springer. 2 more strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
Defense, the Astros have had it, especially on that last road trip. George Springer, Jake Marisnick, Yuli getting all netted up in it. As uncomfortable as that was, it was a great play. And then Josh Reddick, another 5-star diving catch by an Astros outfielder. It's remarkable what a luxury it is to have these guys playing behind this pitching staff, as good as they are at the swing and miss. If the ball gets put in play, it's a pretty good chance there's going to be somebody back there to make a play for them.
Springer also with a 5-star catch, 9% catch probability on that one, which saved the game for the Astros on Wednesday. I'm not sure if an outfielder's ever had 3 different outfielders make a 5-star catch all in one road trip.
Good call.
Springer in Detroit, Jake against the monster in Boston, and Reddick laying down in right field at Fenway Park. Steven Souza Jr. up and in will lead off the 6th inning. Astros and Diamondbacks look like we might have an offensive outburst here in the 1st inning or so. And then all of a sudden both lefties have blocked it in. 2 runs for each in the 1st and nothing since. Souza Jr. walked and grounded out. Ball hit pretty well to right, but Josh Reddick back on it. Still back. It's over his head, but he makes the catch. What a recovery by Reddick. He makes the catch on a ball that kept carrying on him for out number 1.
I was a little worried that all our talk was going to come back to haunt us on that play. The recovery speed. This is a great swing by Steven Souza, by the way. Sinker down and away. He stays on it, barrels it up, and hits a rocket almost over the head of leaping Josh Reddick. And of course, he's into the ropes.
He had to double check the glove. Off the top turnbuckle.
Oh, you know that was his favorite part of the catch right there, going into the wall.
advertisement for ATT Sportsnet.
Appreciate you.
Here's Nick Ahmed. He fouls one at the plate. Ahmed has flied out deep to right. He's also doubled into left center field.
There's only 47% catch probability on that one.
I think that ball fooled him a little bit.
It was hit a lot harder. Souza put a great swing on a tough pitch.
One to one the count. Dallas approaching 90 pitches on the night. Last time in Boston threw 91. Three and one the count.
There's encouragement for Carlos.
Plummer mentioned the UConn connection with George Springer and Nick Ahmed. Not a lot of guys from University of Connecticut that ended up in the big leagues. Down and in, ball four. Dallas has now walked 4 in this game, 2 in the first inning. And that ties his season high. Walked 4 in 2 different starts back in April. Start here against the Orioles and a start in Minnesota.
He has the luxury of getting a lot of ground balls, but this is going to be a tough guy to double up or take and run a little bit.
Marte misses that first pitch. Joe Smith warming up in the Astros bullpen. Charles Nagy, who pitched 14 seasons in the big leagues, probably the other most famous UConn major leaguer.
Did not know that. That's a good one.
Two and one. Dallas trying to get through 6 innings. He has pitched exactly 6 innings his last 3 outings against the Diamondbacks.
Love Martin.
Looks like he's getting into it, huh?
No, I love the fact that he goes out there and talks to some of these pitchers no matter who they are. I mean, Dallas Keuchel is a Cy Young Award winner. So is Justin Verlander. Garrett Cole's having a great season, but he's not afraid to go out there and have that conversation. And I think it's great because sometimes I would imagine as a pitcher, you've got to feel like you're on an island sometimes. But Martin comes out there and lets you know that he's with you and wants you to battle. Because he's a wear one off the chest, but he lets you know that he is invested in every pitch that you're throwing also. And he recognizes more than we do because he is staring directly at these pitchers every pitch of the game.
Looking at that cheat sheet to see what might be a good pitch here against Marte with 2 strikes. Yeah, he has done a great job assimilating with his pitching staff in a hurry. And he'll be fired up on that strikeout as a little talk with Dallas goes from 2-1 to a strikeout.
I would imagine sometimes pitchers get so wrapped up in what they're trying to do that they may lose a little bit of focus on executing some of the pitches. Maybe just a subtle reminder by Martin every once in a while is like, hey, stay with me. We're right in the moment. We're almost through this thing. Been racking up the quality starts.
Jeff Mathis walked his last time up. Number 9 hitter for the Diamondbacks grounded out his first time. One with the count. Probably Dallas's last inning. AJ's let him go for more than 110 pitches at times, but late in the season, working on normal rest, extended arms in the bullpen. I think they'll be happy to get Dallas through 6. This is up a little bit, 2-1.
Didn't miss by much, but this is a guy that Dallas needs to go out and get. Imagine with Joe Smith getting loose out there and A.J. Pollock, the leadoff man in this batting order. That would be Joe's guy.
Now 2-2. Let's see if this big and bright Friday night crowd will get behind Dallas a little bit. About to make his 99th pitch of the game.
Fans know it.
Swing and a miss. Dallas ends his night with a strikeout. 5 strikeouts on the night. 2 runs allowed in 6 innings. We're still tied at 2.
Ballpark bundle. Get a ticket, hot dogs, soda, and popcorn for select weekday games for only $20. Visit Astros.com/ballpark bundle for tickets and info.
Dallas getting some love after working through 6 innings. Nicely done after that first.
Deservedly so. Had to work for it. Absolutely earned it getting through 6, only allowing those 2 in that first inning.
Jose Altuve batting. He was finally retired by Robbie Ray his last time. That snapped a string of 6 times in a row. Altuve was on base against this lefty. And he starts him off with a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Altuve loves hunting that low fastball, and Robbie Ray has been seeing that lower fastball get hit hard this year. High fastball has been the reason for his success on the road. Starts off Altuve with another breaking ball. This one outside. It's 1-1. Jose walked his first time up, came around to score on the double play ground ball off the bat of Carlos Correa. He's also grounded out. Ray starts this inning with 75 pitches. He's had 2 low pitch innings and 2 high pitch innings. 24 and a 22 in the first and fourth, and a 6 and 10 in the second and third. They had the extra innings, but the A's have put up a run in the 10th inning. A's had just 2 hits through 9. Chris Davis hits a home run in the 10th inning. To give Oakland a 2-1 lead. Hanging in there at 1-2.
Ray's made some good pitches with the breaking ball, but it looks to me that Altuve's close to getting it. Hasn't really gotten that mistake to barrel up.
Altuve's only seen 4 fastballs tonight. There's one, but way up out of the zone. It's 2-2.
Yeah, I feel that was a little bit of a waste pitch. Robbie Ray ahead in the count. Fighting off a really good, well-located slider.
Altuve with the day off Wednesday, and then the Astros with the scheduled day off yesterday.
Watch the catcher give signs. Usually he'll give the pitch and then point to the location. Going to that slider again, down and in.
Backed him off the plate at 95.
That's not a slider.
Definitely wanted it in. Well, this could be an interesting pitch. Altuve has seen 8 in this sequence.
We really haven't seen him double up with the fastball yet. Those 2 pitches, 6 and 8, up and in, have been backed up by the slider down and in.
But do you have to make the slider good enough that it could be hittable here with a 3-2 count to start this inning? Robbie Ray, a long look in. Now he's ready. Up, down and in. Altuve draws a walk. They're actually going to say that hits Altuve. Either way, he's a leadoff base runner. Julia.
Alex Bregman comes up here, and he told me just a couple of days ago, he reached those huge numbers on that last road trip, and the first thing he said was, I have to give a lot of credit to the guys that are hitting in front of me. They're getting on base for me. That's why I have the RBIs that I do at this point. And AJ echoed that today, saying that what this guy is doing absolutely incredible, but the guys around him are helping him have this kind of season. Bregman also is the MVP of this team, according to his manager, AJ, saying it just his clutch hitting, that pitch selection where he was drawing all those walks earlier in the season turned into extra base hits. Now he is where he is now. It's all paying off for him. He's had a great year, TK.
Undoubtedly. This guy's been special. All those round numbers look good, but Alex wouldn't mind changing at least one of those here. Alex has walked and grounded out.
You know, we're obviously biased towards Alex Bregman because we've been watching him on a consistent basis. But what we saw from Mookie Betts up in Boston was pretty impressive. What he did against the Astros on a big stage too, considering the opponent. But it's a lot of fun to go in there and expand some of these numbers and look at, you know, some of these writers and guys that are voting on the MVP will dig a little bit deeper if they need more proof on who's going to be that MVP for them.
These are numbers since June 1st.
And I mean, that is pretty potent. The only thing you could really hope, I mean, those two guys on the right are going to split votes a little bit, but is there going to be enough left over for Alex to get in there?
He keeps going like this and gets that OPS over 1,000. Who knows? Certainly he's in the conversation, and that was not the case at the All-Star.
No, he is definitely in that conversation.
Down to the count here, 1-2. This would add to his WPA if he does something here. We showed you that stat earlier. This is getting to the point of the game, tie game, bottom half of the sixth, where he can really change the win probability by doing damage in this AB. Fouls this one off. The outplay. Looking at the box score from the A's and Rays game, it's such a different game now. As we mentioned, Oakland had 2 hits going into the extra innings, a single and a double. They had 2 hits against 8 pitchers. That is what we've come to.
Yeah, that's we talk about approach, you talk about game plan, scouting reports. It's not normal to sit down in a hitter's meeting and go over 8 guys that are going to throw against you in one day.
And the 9th pitcher gave up the home run to Chris Davis in the 10th. Jamie Schultz allowing that home run. So the Rays are batting in the bottom of the 10th, down 2-1, with the A's hitting that home run at the top of the 10th. 2 runs on 3 hits for Oakland. Archie Bradley warming up in the Diamondbacks bullpen. I wonder if the stare will help out that MVP.
That's a nice peripheral to add into the mix, right? Knowing how to celebrate your success.
Part of being a team leader.
Imagine the stare you're going to get if you don't vote for Alex. He's done it all. He's been entertaining on the field and off.
'90th pitch of the game for Robbie Ray. Just missed. The count's full.
What's impressive too is, as well as Alex Bregman has been going, there's always this desire to do more. But he has stuck to his approach. He's stuck to what pitch he wants to drive and attack, and doesn't chase, because you kind of get the feeling on that last pitch he wanted to go after it, but laid off it to put himself into this 3-2 count.
See if Altuve's on the move here. AJ has been sending runners with Bregman at the plate lately in a full count. Stays and foul to plate.
A lot of 3-2 sliders from Robbie Ray. Just enough of a wrinkle in it to get the Astro hitters off balance. See how far out ahead Alex was on that pitch.
A little surprised Altuve stayed on that last pitch. We'll see if he's off here. Goldschmidt have had a running conversation ever since Jose's been up first.
I'm sure if you put those 2 guys on a straw poll and said who's the nicest, you might break up the votes 50-50, because Paul Goldschmidt is one of the good ones out there. And we all know that Altuve is plenty good enough for us.
Maybe that's what they're talking about. I think you're nicer.
Yeah, no, you are. We should hang out more often.
Not a very big lead for Altuve, and he's going to stay again. And Bregman taps one foul again.
But to your point about, Altuve not running right here, obviously a left-handed pitcher is tough to get a read on and go, but at the same time, you've got a guy at the plate who has been swinging the bat well all season long, still with more walks and strikeouts.
Another long at bat here. The Astros have put on some pitches. With Robbie Ray coming into this inning with 75 between Altuve and Bregman, they've added 17 to his level.
Well, and if you're Torey Lovullo, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, how long do you let Robbie Ray go? Because you understand that your bullpen has been atrocious of late.
In the air to left field, playable. Peralta is there, put it away for number one. A good battle by Bregman, eventually won by Robbie Ray. Since September 1, Blummer, Diamondbacks bullpen.
Yeah, a lot of the reason the Astros are holding their ground as far as a lead against the Oakland A's, a lot of the reason the Diamondbacks have fallen out of the lead and fallen behind as Torey Lovullo comes out to get Robbie Ray, as that bullpen is 30th since September 1st with an 8.19 ERA.
And it looks like Lovullo is going to go to that bullpen here with Yuli Gurriel due up. Robbie Ray's night is over, 5 1/3 innings, and we'll be back with a new pitcher after this.
Who am I? Expo, Triple Crown, Perfection. I think a lot of people got this one right. Big unit. Randy Johnson broke in with the Montreal Expos back in 1988. Triple Crown in 2002 when he led the National League in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. Pitched the only perfect game in Diamondbacks history back in 2004.
Unit today's named that Astro. Robbie Ray leaves the game with 1 on and 1 out in the 6th inning, and the new pitcher is Archie Bradley.
A couple of rough outings this month of September for Archie Bradley, elevating that ERA to 3.76. Been pretty good overall, but he's in a tough spot right here, making his 70th appearance against Yuli Gurriel.
A lot of appearances. His first pitch strike percentage is now the best in that bullpen. Yuli usually very aggressive.
Bradley does throw hard, averaging 95.5 miles on that fastball, miles per hour on that fastball. There you go. To TK's point, fastball pitcher early in the count, fastball hitter on the attack.
Yuli never facing Bradley before tonight. Well, Robbie Ray allowed just 2 hits while he was in there, and none since the first inning. Since the first, he's only allowed 1 walk and 1 hit batter. hit batter Jose Altuve to start this inning. Really grounds one foul off his foot. It's 0-2.
Yeah, with Torey Lovullo taking Robbie Ray out of this ball game, you really feel that Torey wants to win this inning, bringing in arguably one of the better arms out of that bullpen currently.
A's win their game in extra innings tonight, 2-1. Blake Treinen goes 2 innings for the win. Oakland continues to play outstanding baseball. They're now up to 90 wins on the season. 1-2. There could be 4 teams in the American League that end up with 100 wins or more.
Half of them in the wild card.
Yeah. How crazy would that be? Altuve on the move. Yuli swings and pops one up. Altuve will have to retreat as Ahmed makes the play for out number 2. So Yuli retired. That'll bring up Carlos Correa. Well, the only good news out of that game in Tampa Bay is that the Astros' magic number to clinch a playoff spot is now down to 5 with the Rays losing. Tampa Bay now with the same number of losses as Seattle. Here's Correa. He is grounded into a double play and drawn a walk. Walk was a 10-pitch battle with Robbie Ray. A couple of long at-bats by the Astros, getting Ray out here in the 6th inning. Fly ball, shallow center, coming on Pollock. Still coming on and puts it away for the final out. So we head to the 7th, still tied at 2.
first inning, but if you tuned in late, you would never know it. He was able to settle in, was in complete control of this one. He even took a comebacker off the shoulder at one point. Did a really nice job. 5 strikeouts through 6 innings today. His offense helped picked him up there after giving up the runs in the first inning. They put 2 runs on the board in the first inning, so that's where we are. We're tied at 2, and the Astros are going to turn things over to their bullpen. TK?
They are, Julian. That's going to be Joe Smith who takes over in the 7th inning after Dallas goes 6. The 4 walks matches his season high. 99 pitches, 54 for strikes.
It was a good night of execution and poise by Dallas Keuchel getting through that first inning. Now he hands it off to Joe Smith, making his 52nd appearance. Been good in the last couple of months, getting that ERA under 3.
Facing the top of the order for the Diamondbacks, 4th time around. A.J. Pollock went 1 for 3 against Keuchel. He was the one that hit one off the top of Dallas's left shoulder for a hit in the 2nd inning. Of the 5 hits allowed, 3 singles and a couple of doubles tonight as Smith delivers a strike. It's 1-1. Joe Smith, one of the reasons why the Astros bullpen has been so good lately. The best ERA in September, over the last month, and for the entire season. Towards Bregman, a couple of hops. Alex makes the throw across for the first out.
Joe Smith getting a good ground ball right there, but he has been very good in his last 40 appearances. Unique delivery with that 3/4 arm. Release point creates good arm side run, but also flattens out that slider. Looks a little bit like a frisbee coming across that zone, creating a lot of good swing and miss. Pretty amazing in 40 appearances to have that whip at .60. That is walks and hits per inning pitched. Joe has been very good and a nice link in that bullpen.
Cued off the end of the bat, Escobar watches it go foul. Eduardo Escobar batting. He walked and also grounded out and flied out. 2 runs on 5 hits for Arizona. 2 runs on just 2 hits tonight for the Astros. Houston still looking for its first hit since the first inning. Hector Rondon, Tony Kemp. Double barrel action in the Astros bullpen. Counts 2-1. Didn't miss by much.
No, and you know what's tough about Joe Smith as a left-handed hitter is he will talk about that arm side run. He will pull it to that glove side, which is the inside corner to a left-handed hitter. But with that tailing motion, it will stay on that inside corner. So it doesn't have that traditional straight movement where you think it's going to come in and stay off the plate. It actually tails back over that inner third.
Walks Escobar with 1 out. 5th walk allowed by Astros pitching, and a 1-out base runner for Paul Goldschmidt. Joe was on the DL for part of the season. Missed just a little less than a month during that time. Call. Joe was on the DL from June 7th through July 3rd. Missed 23 games with right elbow soreness. Since coming off the DL on July 3rd, he's posted a .078 ERA. Had a tough customer here, though, with Goldschmidt batting. And he breaks open over a slider for a strike. It's 0-2. Just a piece at the plate. Goldschmidt on an 0-2 pitch, staying alive barely.
Gives you an idea of how tough Joe can be. That slider sweeping across the zone. It looks like a strike for a little bit longer, but Goldschmidt has been swinging the bat well, able to fight it off.
Ball rocketed into left field for a base hit towards the wall. Marwin will have to get it back in a hurry. With Escobar running, he does. Goldschmidt with another double, his second on the night. And the Diamondbacks have second and third with one out.
Trying to keep that slider well away from Paul Goldschmidt. That one did not sweep across the zone. That was a bit of a gift for Goldie, able to turn on it.
Left-hand hitter David Peralta due up. A lefty warming up in the bullpen. Tony Sipp will have a pitching change here with one out and two on in the seventh. The seventh inning, second and third, one out, and he has done a nice job this year with inherited runs.
Done a very good job, and this is a situation right here where you want to see that keep going for Tony Sipp. Fastball's been good, slider split. It's nice to see, but it's a tough job coming out of the bullpen in these situations. But Tony has been pretty good.
Picked up two big strikeouts at Fenway Park on that Sunday night game to preserve tie situation at that point, and now he is trying to do the same thing here. Second and third, one out, facing the left-hand hitting David Peralta, and he delivers a slider for a strike. Peralta this year hitting .295, .326 against righties, .224 against lefties. Field in tight, trying to cut off the potential go-ahead run with Escobar on third. And Tony ahead 0-2.
Peralta already with a couple of hits off left-handed pitcher Dallas Keuchel today.
A couple of ground balls through the middle against Dallas. 2 of the 5 hits allowed by the Astros starter. Rondon continues to warm up in the Astros bullpen. This could be a one-hitter situation for Tony Sipp. chase there. Peralta driving in both Diamondback runs with a 2 RBI single in the first. Have a lot of confidence in your catcher to keep throwing sliders out there.
Got to have a lot of confidence as a catcher to keep putting those fingers down. But if you do put those fingers down, you anticipate break, and that's what it looked like Maldonado did, to be able to get in front of that and keep the runner at third base.
All sliders in this AB to Peralta. First 2 for strikes. Didn't get the chase on the next 2. For 4 straight sliders, we'll see what that conversation results in. Sip always starts on that first base side of the rubber. And he gets him. Sip hops off the mound with that strikeout. He knows that's the one batter he needed to get. And he keeps the runners on second and third and picks up a big strikeout here for out number 2.
Great job by Tony, and I think the conversation was don't have to yank that slider. You have a good enough one to get it near the zone and get the swing and miss. And that's exactly what Tony went out and did. Nicely done.
Nice ovation from the crowd as Sip leads the game. We'll have a new pitcher when we come back. Doan takes over.
Hector is on for his 59th game. He's racked up 14 saves on the season, 54 1/3 innings pitched, and 62 strikeouts. Threw an inning in Detroit, gave up a couple of hits, struck out 2 through 25 pitches. It was a clean inning. Here to get the Astros out of this mess.
Christian Walker was due up. Daniel Descalso will come on as a pinch hitter after Rondon was called into the game. Descalso pinch hitting for the right-hand hitting Walker. And the first pitch is a strike. Also coming in, batting .244 on the year. Walker went 0 for 3 against Dallas Keuchel tonight. Didn't miss by much, but the 98-mile-an-hour fastball is off. It's 1-1.
Wow.
Escobar on third, Goldschmidt on second. Joe Smith on the hook for those 2 base runners after a walk and a double. Now sipping Rondon trying to get through the 7th. Foul tip. Hector ahead 1 and 2.
Bringing some fuel. 97 and 98 on the fastball for Hector Rondon.
Well, fans trying to get an early start to the 7th inning stretch. And in the lower bowl, standing here with a 1-2 count to Descalso. He got him. Hector Rondon strikes out the pinch hitter Daniel Descalso. 7th inning stretch time, all tied at 2.
HEB. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/promotions.
On we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Astros fans enjoying the 7th inning rendition of Deep in the Heart of Texas. Archie Bradley on for his first full inning of work. He got the final 2 outs in the 6th inning. Going to face Tyler White to start this inning, but time called. Scott Berry, the home plate umpire, making sure Archie knew that was the catcher, Jeff Mathis, calling time.
Okay, you got to place blame in the right spot.
It's not me.
Not it.
Your guy. We'll see if Shark can get things going. Astros don't have a hit since the 1st. Yuli Gurriel with that base hit through the 5-6 hole, the last hit for the Astros. That was the 4th batter of this game.
Oh my gosh. Is Mathis okay? It got crossed up big time.
Cross up on the first pitch of the inning.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed he got out of the way.
I'd like to have a meeting right now.
Yeah, talk.
Timeout. Let's discuss signs. They were going back to the crouch. I'm thinking maybe you should have a little discussion.
Yeah, you call timeout.
All right, nobody's on base. What are our basic signs here, guys?
Yeah.
All right, we got set. Bradley taking over for Robbie Ray, who went 5 1/3 innings of 2-hit, 2-run baseball, 3 walks and a hit batter. Hope Tyler has, during his stretch here since the All-Star break, done a lot of his damage late in games. 7th inning and later, he has been a beast. Good swing there, fouls it back.
Very good swing.
Tigers, after being swept by the Astros in Detroit, go into Cleveland and win tonight 5-4. There's a ball in the left center field, headed towards the gap, diving attempt, and it's down for a hit. White heading for second. The throw by Pollock is wide, and a leadoff double for the Shark. We're going to get a pinch runner. Shark will get a nice hand as he heads back to the dugout.
Yeah, the Meg deserves it.
Jake Marisnick lacing up his shoe.
Stayed on that pitch down and launched it just out of the reach of Peralta and really forcing the issue. This is such a good job of keeping the hands back. Barreling into second base. Just like diving into the ocean after a breach.
Took the base with him.
He's pretty aggressive at times.
Sharks tend to be. Here's Marwin. Pinch runner Jake Marisnick. Jake will assume the DH role now, and Marwin, who's seen 2 pitches tonight, is 0 for 2. He's popped up and grounded into a fielder's choice. Takes that pitch down and away. Seen a lot of leads go by the boards, and in this case the Diamondbacks don't lead, but they're in a tie situation. And you've seen the bullpen give up a lot of runs lately. You get a leadoff double and all of a sudden bad thoughts start coming into your head. 2-0.
Wow, Bradley wanted that one. And again, it's also a great situation too, having Marwin be able to be the switch hitter behind a guy who just hit a double, because he's got the ability to get the barrel out quick enough. Even a rollover right now is a bonus for the Astros, moving Jake Marisnick 90 feet closer to home.
Can really settle in on this 2-0 pitch.
I'm with you on that. You're thinking damage right here. Oh my.
Well, 1-0 pitch could have been a strike. It was called a ball. Now he gets a 2-0 pitch off the corner that's called a strike.
Wow. That was impressive.
So we've got to the correct count, but in a strange way.
Different route.
On the ground, right side, Marwin does his job. Gives himself up for the team. A little 4-3 ground out, sends Jake Marisnick to third.
It's time for the Lowe's whole team together. Since August 21st, runners in scoring position, 2 outs and runners in scoring position. The Astros have been very good. That's what makes high-quality teams very good, is being able to come up. And I feel that this is a clutch number, being able to hit with runners in scoring position. But that 2-out risk really jumps. And it's also nice to see these guys getting some of the extra base hits to get that slugging number up.
Tony Kemp is going to come on as a pinch hitter for Martin Maldonado. The Diamondbacks will draw the infield in tight.
Kemp is a contact guy who can bunt. Jake runs extremely well.
I would think the contact play would be on here. Jake will be off with anything on the ground. Kemp fouls the first one back. Tony had a big pinch hit double in that series against the Red Sox. On the season, Tony's 2 for 5 with that 2 RBI double the other way at Fenway. Seem to be in a big rallies for the Astros this year, either as an igniter to start the inning, or in this situation looking to drive in a run. This is that fastball, 1-2. Bradley's going to be around the strike zone. Kemp has been aggressive in this AB. Really seems to have a good idea of that strike zone. He doesn't usually leave it too often, but he'll swing aggressively when the pitches are in there. Two. Last fastball, the hardest delivery of the night for Bradley, 96.4. Now breaking ball that Kemp lays off. Great take. It's 3-2.
Like a pretty good pitch out of the hand of Bradley. Good take by Tony Kemp. Right at those knees. MD Anderson. Wow. Astros maybe catching a break right there to see if they can take advantage of it right here. Tony Kemp working it into a 3-2 count.
He got him. With a 96-mile-an-hour fastball to end that at bat. Bradley's first strikeout, 2 outs in the 7th.
You knew Archie Bradley was going to reach back and go to that fastball. He is very aggressive with it. Not done yet. Josh has a chance to woo these fans.
Looking for his first hit. He's popped up and struck out. He's faced Bradley 5 times. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of walks. Six-year-old right-hander Archie Bradley started with the Diamondbacks in the rotation. Now he's been out of the bullpen the last couple of years. Reddick fouls it out of play. It's 1-1.
Yeah, he's got a personality that might actually be bigger than his beard. He was with Arizona when he was just a kid. Coming up through the minor league ranks, he is an electric arm, an electric personality. Good swing.
They've got one of the loosest guys in baseball on the mound and one of the most intense guys in baseball at the plate.
Yeah.
Not that Josh doesn't like to have fun, but when he's in that batter's box. Robbie Ray, tonight's starter, was the guy responsible for the Archie Bradley beard. Suggested back in 2016 during No Shave November that he try it. here we are almost 2 years later.
This looks like he sets it on the nightstand at night.
Down, and we've got another full count here. Well, Reddick down 1-2, has worked it full.
And he's taken a couple of good passes at 95+ mile-an-hour fastballs against Archie. Hasn't been able to square him up. I would imagine that Bradley's going to attack him with that fastball. Is Josh ready for it?
Outside, ball 4. Reddick draws a walk. George Springer due up. Brad Ziegler, the side armor, has been warming up in the bullpen. Torey Lovullo has a decision here, and he comes out of the dugout. It's going to be the side arming Brad Ziegler to face Springer with runners on first and third. And 2 outs when we come back in the 7th inning. The Arizona Diamondbacks, Zach Godley tomorrow night against Charlie Morton, working on 6 days rest. And then Sunday, you have the 2009 and 2011 Cy Young winners going head-to-head. Zach Greinke against Justin Verlander.
Battle of former Cy Young Award winners on that Sunday afternoon matchup. That'll be fun to watch. New pitcher on for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Brad Ziegler had experience with the Arizona Diamondbacks around 2011 and 12. Came over this season from the Miami Marlins, and in 75 games this season, he was thrown in 68 innings. A little bit of a submarine delivery. Creates that sink down and in to right-handed hitters with a bit of a slider going away from him. Has yet to give up an earned run in this month of September.
He's one of the few out of that bullpen who's fared well this month. Starts off Springer with a slider for a strike. Ziegler will throw only fastball slider to the righties. Fastball changeup with an occasional slider to the lefties. Won't top out much higher than 84, 85 with that fastball. George batting with Jake Marisnick, the go-ahead run at third, and also Josh Reddick at first with 2 outs in the 7th. Reddick on the move, and no attempt to throw him out. Pitch was taken for a ball. It's 1-1. Going to give Josh a stolen base on that. That'll be his 7th on the year. outside, 2-1.
It's 2-out lightning. The Astros have been good at it.
Tried to hold up. He goes around. Carlos Torres says that's a swing. It's 2-2.
That barrel getting out in front of home plate.
Springer 1 for 4 against Ziegler with 3 groundouts. Does not chase that slider. Now the count's full with Jose Altuve on deck. All third strike to end the inning. Springer frustrated at home plate. The game's tied, headed to the 8th.
Right, hold true moment. Joe Smith found himself in a little bit of trouble in that 7th inning, and then Tony Kemp came on in relief with the runner at 2nd and 3rd, gets a big strike out of Peralta. Then Hector Rondon striking out the pinch hitter Descalso to get out of the inning for the Houston Astros. Bullpen stepping up in big situations over the last month or so, continuing to do so here, and they have to here the rest of the way.
And Hector will continue on into the 8th inning, and he'll face Steven Souza Jr. No bullpen action going right now for the Astros, so AJ would like to see Hector Rondon go through this inning. New catcher Brian McCann takes over as Martin Maldonado was lifted for a pinch hitter last inning. Ahead of Souza 0-2. Souza 0 for 2 with a walk, a ground out, and a nice play by Josh Reddick. Going back on a ball in the 6th inning. Rondon has seen most of these Angels through the years, as he has been in the National League more than the American League. So a lot of these guys have multiple bats against Hector. And after getting ahead of Souza, the count now is full.
We have not seen the top portion of that zone called. Hector Rondon taking a little bit of a breather behind the mound to get himself back. Count 4 pitches that have touched the top of the zone, yet it is a 3-2 count.
All third strike on the outside corner. Hector has struck out both batters he has faced. Souza not happy with that call.
I don't think he should be. It's a good fastball. Give Hector Rondon credit for getting that ball down and in the zone. The Astros bullpen since August 21st. Not sure what that other number was, but 1.68 ERA. Keeping that slugging number down is very nice too. But A.J. Hinch has done a very good job of mixing and matching these guys as far as matchups are concerned, and giving them a couple of days off when they need them, and not going multiple appearances in a row to keep those arms fresh.
Andrew Chafin, a lefty in the Diamondbacks bullpen, has been used 3 days in a row, which is another reminder that A.J. still has yet to do that all year with any one of his relievers.
And even though it is September, he's using the same amount of guys because so many of these games have been close and tight. But he wants to have his boys in there that can be locked down.
Well, Josh James did a nice job on Wednesday in Detroit, not only helping to preserve a lead, even though he gave up a 2-run home run, but helped preserve that bullpen, which needed a breather.
Absolutely. He's another guy out there. Hector Rondon, this is a multiple inning outing for him. But Josh James is a guy who's not unaccustomed to getting up, getting down, and then getting back on the mound. It's a nice attribute to have when you can throw 100+ miles an hour too.
Good slider there for strike number 2, and the two veterans, Rondon and McCann, want to discuss things. Arizona's another team that has used the bullpen more frequently than the Astros. The Astros with 445 relief appearances this year, and the Diamondbacks with 65 more.
Wow.
Just a piece to stay alive. Well, with that loss earlier tonight at home by Cleveland, it's becoming apparent as we have 2 weeks and 2 days remaining in the regular season that the Cleveland Indians are going to be the 3 seed in the postseason. They will lock up the AL Central this weekend more than likely. And that means the winner of the AL West, the Astros division, more than likely will be the 2 seed and will be hosting Cleveland in the first round of the playoffs. So right now, the 3 seed next to the Indians' name, pretty solid. The 1 seed next to the Red Sox name, pretty solid. You'd like to think that 2 seed will be solid, but the A's keep winning. And then who knows where that 4 or 5 game would be played, because right now the A's just a game and a half behind the Yankees. Into right center field, falling quickly, and that'll be a base hit. Nick Ahmed going for second. Josh Reddick cuts it off. The throw not in time. Ahmed with another double. He is now 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles.
Stayed back on that slider pretty good. It just hung up out over the plate. You can see that's why Rondon was upset. Pretty impressive job by Ahmed to stay on that and go the other way and end up with a 2-base hit.
Ahmed challenging a couple of throws tonight and beating them both to get a couple of doubles. Here is Keuchel Marte, who was 0 for 3. Marte takes a called strike. Fly out, ground out, and strikeout. 7th hit for the Diamondbacks. Astros sitting with 3 right now. Rondon ahead 0-2. Just missed the edge. Tough take by Keuchel Marte. It's 1-2. On the ground, back to the mound. Rondon thought about it, getting the runner hung up. Ahmed gets back to second. Rondon takes the out at first.
Athletic and cerebral right here. Rondon getting that ground ball back to him, does a great job of checking that runner back to second base and then still having enough time to get the runner headed to first base. Nicely done.
So with 2 outs, Rondon will now face a pinch hitter. John Jay will pinch hit for the catcher, Jeff Mathis. Jay was acquired from the Kansas City Royals back in early June. Brent Strom making sure they have the scouting report on this pinch hitter. No issues for Torey Lovullo with his catching depth. He has 4 catchers on the roster right now. Choose from John Ryan Murphy, Chris Stewart, or Alex Avila to come into this game. So Rondon to face the pinch hitter Jay. They have matched up 6 times overall. He is 1 for 5 with a walk. Astros outfield playing Jay the other way. George is in left center field and Reddick way over in right center.
Incredible shift
for a lefty hitter. Wow. And he hits one down the line and right, and that's going to be a fair ball and headed towards the corner. We showed you how far over Reddick was. This is going to be Jay heading to third base with a triple. Diamondbacks take a 3-2 lead.
That's one thing the analytics don't take into account is a poorly hit baseball. They're anticipating a ball being hit well, but John Jay just gets absolutely destroyed. And I believe that ball kind of started on the foul line and then kind of bent back onto the field. You can see Yuli just dismay and disbelief that that ball came back into fair territory. But to your point, TK, it was a good 1.5 miles, it felt like, for Josh Reddick to get all the way over to that baseball, because that baseball stayed on the grass, never got to the warning track or the wall. Ended up being a triple.
Jay over 300 on the year with runners in scoring position and knocks in a big run there for the Diamondbacks with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Now A.J. Pollock is swinging a miss. Pollock 1 for 4 with an infield hit back in the 2nd inning. Rondon throwing a lot of pitches in this outing. He's up to 23 in his second inning of work.
Through 25 his last time out against the Tigers.
One and one. Brad Peacock back on the, well, he was active anyhow, but back with the team. Missed a few games in Detroit. Two and one. Pitches that Rondon threw in Detroit 3 days ago was the highest total for him since July 3rd. Now he's back-to-back outings with 25 or more. Counts 2-2. .35 pitches in that game at Texas July 3rd, and this will be third time, including last outing, he's been over 25 or more. Trying to get that final out of the eighth, keep this game at 3-2. In the air, shallow center, long run. Springer still coming on. George dives and he can't get there. Just falls in, and the out at second base will be made, but it's 4-2 Diamondbacks. A little flare single by A.J. Pollock scores Jay. And the Astros give up 2 in the eighth.
As always, thank you for participating in our Stro poll. We asked which of these Astros late season additions has had the most underrated impact. Martin Maldonado getting almost half the vote, 49% tonight. Presley coming in second. TK?
All right, Julia, Martin Maldonado, the winner of today's Stro poll, as Jose Altuve gets a nice hand from the crowd. Astros need a little rally now, down 2 as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Brad Ziegler, who got the final out of the 7th by striking out George Springer, stays on. Similar to Hector Rondon, no action going in the Diamondbacks bullpen to start this inning. So this will be Ziegler's inning, facing Altuve, Bregman, and Yuli Gurriel. All right-hand hitters for the first 5 until they get to Marwin Gonzalez. And Altuve sends one in the air to right. Souza Jr. makes the play for out number 1. Jose now 0 for 2, a walk and a hit batter. That'll bring up Alex Bregman. Bregman walked in that first inning and now has reached his 40 consecutive games. Looking for his first hit tonight.
Altuve swinging at the first pitch really benefits Brad Ziegler. We know that Alex Bregman is already a very selective hitter, but with that first pitch going by, is Alex going to be as selective? And he is, and I think Ziegler knew that. He could be aggressive with the fastball on the first pitch. Because normally the guy hitting behind the guy that just swung at the first pitch and made it out doesn't want to swing for the risk of possibly making it out.
This one to right, and Souza Jr. lays out, and he makes a great catch. Bregman is out for out number 2. He's going to ask AJ if they can get a little review on this. Souza going down the ground and making the play for out number 2.
I think I saw a little white baseball pop out. We'll have a better look at it on this angle. That looks like a trap to me. The glove was facing down. The glove wasn't really underneath the baseball.
They are going to look at this. Bregman never left first base. Will the ball ever hit the grass? That's the question. Close.
I don't know. I think it's close too. To me, initially, it looks like the baseball it is trapped because of the way the glove was not underneath the baseball, and then the bare hand comes over the top instead of underneath. Right there, I feel it. But is there enough to overturn it? And then Alex Bregman asked for the replay, by the way. I hate to break it to you.
It's the only thing he's done poorly all year.
The only thing.
Well, it looked like the bare hand may have helped keep that ball in the glove. I'm not sure if the ball ever gets to the grass. They'll slow this up, and if they have any frame where the ball's touching the grass, then Alex could be on first, but I'm not sure if they'll have that frame or not.
Is it amazing how agonizing some of these replays have been for the Astros over the course of this season?
2 stick out. 1 in Oakland and 1 in Boston.
But again, it's tough, and it seems so much bigger in the moment, like right now. But the fact of the matter is, this would only be the Astros' 4th hit.
Ends up being a nice play by Souza as they keep the call as an out. And now the base is empty with 2 outs for Yuli Gurriel.
But only 3 hits on the evening for the Houston Astros.
Call stands. Yuli takes one inside for a ball. Now that extra run last inning really hurt too. This is a little bit of a skittish bullpen right now. 2 runs to them feels a lot better than 1 in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Three and 0 to Yuli with Carlos Correa waiting on deck. Usually Ziegler's getting the ball on the ground. He's got a ground ball rate as high as pretty much anybody in the league. But a couple of outs in the air this inning, and now a 4-pitch walk to Yuli Gurriel, and some frustration for Brad Ziegler as he brings a tying run to the plate. Well, here's Carlos Correa.
Saw a lot of 2-out walks on this road trip affect the Astros. You'd like to see it affect the opposing team right now. Ziegler walking Yuli with 2 outs brings a guy to the plate who has been struggling, but baseball has an amazing way of creating opportunities for you to redeem yourself, and this would be one of those moments for Carlos Correa.
Correa, last 3 times he's faced Ziegler, has been on base. A walk, a single, and a triple. Takes a pitch for ball 1. And you face the right-handed hitters facing
right-handed submarine three-quarter angle type deliveries. That ball is purposely being tried to sink in on the hands of right-handed hitters. Their idea is to try and, as crazy as it sounds, get underneath the baseball and try and hit the bottom half. Get that barrel up underneath the baseball and try and hit that line drive.
Will Harris, Roberto Osuna. One of them will have the ninth, depending on the score. Evan Gattis has grabbed a bat. He's in the on-deck circle to pinch hit for Jake Marisnick in the DH spot.
Well, Evan Gattis is one of those guys that we talked to earlier in the season that I believe, and was it Pfister with the Texas Rangers, got underneath one of his pitches, and Altuve asked him, how'd you do that? And he said, I was trying to hit the bottom half.
Outside, 3-2. Yuli gets a head start off first base.
Carlos doing a good job laying off the edges, getting into this full count.
Up the middle, that'll get through for a base hit. Yuli goes first to third. He will be held there. The Astros with runners on the corners and 2 outs. And Evan Gattis coming up as a pinch hitter.
Not crushed, but a base hit. See that swing of Carlos just kind of fighting it off, but redirects it up the middle out of the reach of Ahmed, and with Yuli on the run, makes it to third base easily, and that brings the go-ahead run to the plate. In the image of Oso Blanco.
Gattis has 1 hit this year as a pinch hitter in 13 at-bats. It was a home run. To pull the trigger and doesn't. It's 0-1.
It's tough to have the discipline to see that pitch coming at you and realize it's going to break back over the plate, especially as a pinch hitter.
Doesn't chase. 1-1. Pinch hit homer came against the Royals in the 8th inning. Takes a pitch for a ball. It's 2-1. Yuli on third, Correa on first, tying runs aboard. Second baseman makes the play. Ketel Marte to get the force on Correa, and that'll do it for the Astros. 2 left on.
with Rondon going an inning and third. A.J. Hinch is back to that bullpen. There's some defensive changes now for the Houston Astros. We got J.D. Davis out in left field. Marwin Gonzalez has gone from left field to center field. Remember how that ended last inning was with George Springer diving for that A.J. Pollock bloop hit. So hopefully it's just day to day for George Springer. We'll try and find out more when we can. New pitcher Will Harris.
Will taking over in the 9th inning for the Astros, appearing in game number 57 on the year. Ryan Presley leads the team, but guys who have been on the Astros all year, Will second to Hector Rondon. In games appeared as he delivers to Eduardo Escobar for ball 1. Well, hopefully we get a report on George Springer, but don't often see Marwin Gonzalez playing center field. 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Diamondbacks this inning. Escobar taking a strike. It's 1-1. Hector Rondon goes an inning and a third, allows 3 hits and 2 runs.
Marwin has played 2 games previously in center field. Totaling 2 innings.
3 and 3 then, or maybe extras. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Saw J.D. Davis play some outfield earlier, but he has been mostly at third base this year for the Astros. J.D. made 3 starts in left, 10 starts at third. Hasn't had a lot of time to play since being called up with the roster expansion. Might see one more wave of players here, not a lot, but Fresno Grizzlies are playing in the PCL championship against Memphis. Tonight was game 3. Best of 5 tied at 1 coming into tonight.
Wow. It's aggressive.
That does not feel good. Escobar fouls one at the plate. Memphis defeated Fresno tonight 2-1 in extra innings. Back leg.
It's a double whammy. I think he got the front foot and the back knee.
Kyle Tucker hit his second home run of that PCL championship for the only run for Fresno tonight. Stays 2-2 on Escobar. Diamondbacks 4 runs on 9 hits. Astros 2 runs on 4 hits. 5 of the 9 hits for Arizona, extra base hits. 4 doubles and that triple by John Jay that was right now the difference in this game. Swing and a miss. Brian McCann will have to make the throw to get Escobar. Will picks up a strikeout. First batter he faces.
Good battle, finished off with a good breaking ball from Will Harris.
Now here's Paul Goldschmidt, Houston native. A couple of doubles tonight, 2 for 4 with a run scored. He is sitting right now at .299 on the season. And he sends one to center field. Coming on Marwin, still coming, diving effort, and Marwin makes the play for out number 2.
Baseball will find you. especially when you're playing a position you're not accustomed to playing. And Marwin does a good job showing a lot of athleticism, recognizing, using those wheels to get there, and then laying out and sacrificing the body. Nice play, Marwin.
Whole different game in center field.
Yeah, wide open spaces, ball moving everywhere. You kind of feel all on your own out there.
He did do a nice job making that play. For out number 2, here's David Peralta. Peralta takes a strike. Peralta knocked in the first 2 runs of the game for the Diamondbacks with a 2 RBI single. Base hit for Peralta, who will stop at first. That's now hit number 10 for Arizona. Peralta 3 for 5 tonight.
I think that's a part of the Astros playing at home that kind of frustrates myself and a lot of other people, is that the Astros struggle at times here at home while the other team goes out there and puts up 10 hits.
And the ERA and the batting average against Astros pitching has been higher at home than on the road. And obviously the offensive numbers are a big discrepancy home and road. Hard to explain. Astros 40 and 32 at home, 52 and 22 on the road.
They score a run more on the road than they do at home. And the pitching staff gives up 1 more run here at home than they do on the road. Which is an awful 3.29 ERA for a team at home. I mean, we can't really complain about that, can we?
No, we can't.
They're still doing a great job pitching here at this ballpark, even though it's a 3.29. It's just, it makes those 2 runs a little bit louder.
In the air to center field, Marwin calls off Reddick and puts it away. Marwin busy in that inning, and his 3rd major league inning in center field. Let's go places. By Cigna, together all the way. And by Jack in the Box. Try something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls for a limited time. Last chance for the Astros, bottom half of the 9th inning. They need a rally against an Arizona Diamondbacks team that has given up some 9th inning leads. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for the Astros. Marwin Gonzalez, Brian McCann, and Josh Reddick. And they will face the right-hander, Yoshihisa Hirano.
On the season, Hirano has pitched in 71 ball games, 62 2/3 innings pitched. He's got a great ERA at 2.15. He's Still 20 walks, and there could be a little bit of an alarming statistic as far as relievers are concerned, because the Astros would like to command the zone, get some base runners out there, and give themselves an opportunity to answer late, maybe walk this thing off. Toronto doesn't throw very hard. He's fastball split finger. Fastball comes in at 91, 92 miles an hour.
He's kind of taken over that closing role by default. Brad Boxberger had been closing games. We saw Archie Bradley close out some games, but lately it's been Hirano. He closed out plenty of games in Japan, and he'll face 3 straight lefties to start. Switch hitter Marwin batting lefty. And he starts him off with a swinging strike.
Marwin trying to get him to run back in a hurry. Again, not a bad idea to be aggressive on the fastball early to avoid getting to that split finger.
There's that splitter. It's 0-2. Toronto gets a high percentage of chase. That's the reason why that splitter can be nasty. He and Archie Bradley get the most chases out of this bullpen. And a base hit up the middle. On an 0-2 pitch, Marwin gets things started in the 9th inning. Just the 5th hit for the Astros. Marwin on base to bring the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, when you're down by multiple runs, all you want to do is get base runners. Marwin does a great job. That split stayed up out of the zone. Marwin expands, but is able to get the barrel to it and shoot it right back up the middle.
Bring up Brian McCann, who will hit for the first time. McCann came on defensively in the 8th inning after Tony Kemp pinch hit for Martin Maldonado. McCann has faced Hirano once and has a double. Lately how we've liked the swings of Brian McCann since coming off the DL. Side, ball 1. Deck is Josh Reddick, and behind him George Springer's spot. Springer was lifted from the game, and that's now J.D. Davis hitting in the leadoff spot. Foul.
2-0 split. Didn't want to give in to Brian McCann.
2-0 split facing the tying run at the plate. If McCann gets on as a tying run, it'll be interesting to see what AJ does. He has Matt Stassi as the lone man remaining on his bench. Well, the Diamondbacks have seen this movie before. Late lead and a struggle to try and close things out.
Doing yourself any favors by falling behind hitters. 2-0 split. Does he throw the 3-1 split?
Almost hits McCann. Way inside. Ball 4. McCann reaches base. The tying run at first. And A.J. will go to his final chess piece on the board. Max Stassi pitch running for McCann.
Thankfully gets out of the way of it.
Stassi, the pitch runner on first, is the tying run, and Josh Reddick will bat. Takes a strike. Reddick faced Toronto. He drew a walk. Toronto blew a save in his last appearance on the 12th against the Rockies. On the ground towards second. Flipped to short for 1, and the return double play. Toronto gets the ground ball he was looking for. Reddick gets into a double play, and now 2 out and runner on third.
This is amazing. Number one, how many double plays the Astros have hit into. Number two, how the situation has always seemed to be in their favor until that ground ball's hit. It's been the biggest buzzkill of the season for the Astros.
By far and away the most double plays in all of baseball. Now J.D. Davis, quite a spot for him. Down to the last out, runner on third base with 2 outs. 5 of the 6 home runs allowed by Toronto this year are to right-hand hitters. J.D. misses the first pitch. It's 0-1. J.D. came on after George Springer was lifted from the game. J.D. for Fresno ended up winning the PCL batting title, hitting .342. This is the fastball and down 0-2.
Toronto jumped up to 94 on that fastball.
Last at bat for J.D. Davis at the big league level was back on August 9th against Seattle. On the ground towards third, gobbled up by Escobar. His throw in time. The Diamondbacks have closed this one out. 4-2 the final score. Astros lose the first game of this 3-game series and the first game of this 9-game homestand. And in the process, with Oakland winning tonight in extra innings against Tampa Bay, the Astros see their lead drop to 2.5 games in the AL West. Took 3 hours 35 minutes. The Diamondbacks scoring 2 in the 8th inning, win it 4-2. We'll have more, including the post-game show, coming up after this.